It's not a hard task, for sure. It's certainly, the engine bills are the same. I've been saying this forever. The engine bills are the same now as they were when they were 900, Jared.
All right, well,
we buy engines, we know.
I'm going to ask you the same question that I asked you last year. Is it then why not change it? If it's just such a simple fix, what is the argument for not doing it?
I'll tell you the same thing I told Dustin Long. Call Jim France and ask. I don't know. I don't have the answers for that.
Hey there, NASCAR fans. Today, we are diving deep into the latest buzz surrounding the sport. The heated horsepower debate that has NASCAR fans and drivers alike buzzing with excitement and anticipation. Racing teams and drivers have been battering NASCAR for enhancing horsepower levels for a long time now. However, horsepower levels have been scaled down due to engine budget concerns and new manufacturer possibilities. This debate has reigned in many racers on the same side. From Chase Elliott and Kyle Larson's bold statements to Denny Hamlin's resolute demands, Kyle Busch's thoughts on the topic, let's uncover the thrilling dynamics of this ongoing saga. But before we dive in, do subscribe to the channel. The horsepower saga kicked off after the race at Phoenix Raceway, when Denny Hamlin highlighted that NASCAR could easily increase the horsepower of the next-gen car 670 HP and 750 HP without any additional cost.
Hey, why can't we just give us what we had a few years ago, the 750, about it's not that easy? I simply said in the media availability, I said, why can't we do it? And I says, well, it's easy. You can be done with one phone call. It can be done. And I based that comment off of not my feeling. I don't build the engines. I listen to TRD, who is the engine builder for RCR. I'm not really sure, but I listened to them all say, yeah, that is not a game changer for us. We can't just replace the plate, basically, is what I was saying, is that it's a little piece of aluminum that chokes these engines down. Yeah, that's probably a little bit, it's oversimplifying it. There's a few more changes, but it's not like it's not a hard task, for sure. The engine bills are the same. I've been saying this forever. The engine bills are the same now as they were when they were 900, Jared. We know. Call Jim France and ask. I don't know. I don't have the answers for that. This is the first thing when it comes to horsepower. It's the first thing that I've not seen NASCAR react to the media about. Usually they react to everything. When something is hot media-wise, they react to it. This is the one thing they've been dug their heels into the ground and said, no, right? So there's clearly a reason that is not being explained to the people.
It was almost certain that several drivers would stand by his words, as everyone wants higher horsepower. One of the first drivers that did so was Kyle Larson, whose comments on a recent episode of the Dale Jr. Download podcast have sent fans into a frenzy. Hamlin's call for a horsepower bump to 750 HP was met with enthusiasm, but Larson pushed the boundaries further. Advocating for a whopping 1000 HP, the Hendrick Motorsports star did not hide his disappointment with NASCAR not testing higher horsepower packages on short tracks in a recent interview on Dale Jr.'s podcast.
When you have that power, you can, like I said, run different lines and use that horsepower to accelerate. So I hope someday they can at least try it, like just, I don't know, somewhere, Richmond or wherever, and go test, go to Martinsville, go test it, try it out. I feel like they've always used the excuse of, or at least I've heard the excuse of, well, we're trying to keep horsepower to where, other manufacturers might want to come in. Maybe somebody else is coming and maybe they're the ones pushing for lower horsepower, but I've yet to see anybody new come in. And all these engine builders and teams are saying it's not going to cost any different to do it. We could bring 1,000 horsepower next week,
right?
And it not more. They're literally taking the engine that I won with at Vegas and making it a 1,000 horsepower engine to put in one of Rick's personal cars they're building right now. So they can do it.
The next gen's draggy nature has divided the fan base over short track racing, forcing NASCAR's hand to come up with a new aero package. However, without more horsepower, there's not a lot of difference for viewers who watched the Phoenix race last weekend. Moving on to the Hendrick Motorsports number 9 driver, Chase Elliott. Amidst the horsepower debate, Elliott added his voice, emphasizing the inefficiencies of current engine setups and the potential for enhanced racing with increased power. Sharing his 2 cents on the raging debate, Hendrick Motorsports driver Chase Elliott talked in a recent interview about how NASCAR's use of tapered spacers has been a hindrance for the drivers. He also highlighted the fact that costs and additional parts with an increase in engine power are not major roadblocks to bringing about the pending changes.
Yeah, I mean, Uncle Ernie certainly talks about it all the time. I mean, I think, yeah, I do think it would make a really big difference for sure in the grand scheme of what the races might look like. I think anytime you introduce off-throttle time is probably a good thing for drivers having the ability to be different. I think the more we're pushed into the box of being the same, the harder it's going to be for guys to stand out or, drive from the back of the field to the front of the field. You kind of become tightened down to one, whatever the optimum line is. And when we're all kind of running the same throttle percentage all the time, it's difficult to branch out and make a wider radius work with more success or whatever. But I do know, just from what little bit of knowledge I have on engines, is the way that we run these engines with, a tapered spacer is we're making them about as inefficient as you can possibly make them. These things unrestricted would have more power as they sit today. With that, you would certainly have to have different parts. I don't think those parts would cost any more than what they cost now if you bought the right ones to withstand that type of horsepower from a reliability standpoint. But I do know that we run them extremely inefficient with the spacer that we put on them.
His insights garnered attention and resonated with fans looking for a more thrilling on-track experience. While Denny Hamlin was the first big name to bring up the topic, claiming that any hike in horsepower would not harm engine bills. Kyle Larson also claimed that a 1,000 GP policy be rolled out in no more than a week. But Kyle Busch added more fuel to this fire. Earlier, cars released massive power while racing on NASCAR tracks. The horsepower output was above 900 in the mid-2010. However, those days are gone, as now in 2024, cars can only race with 670 HP, on par with any sports car available in an automobile showroom. But the flames of revolution have been ignited, as drivers are calling for a return to real racing. Fox reporter Bob Pockras recently shared an interview with Kyle Busch. He asked the driver if an increase in horsepower would impact other components of a race car.
I would say the only thing that would be a limiting factor might be the transaxle, but honestly, I've never really looked inside one or seen the components of one to see how sturdy the gears are. That would about be the only thing in my book of just knowing whether or not it would withstand the horsepower gain. I would imagine that it wouldn't be that big of a deal, because I think X-Track builds transmissions and such for like off-road racing and things like that where they're over 1,000 horsepower, so I'm sure they're used to, or at least have experience in that realm of the higher horsepower. Brakes are fine. We don't blow the tires off enough. I think that's what we're all kind of talking about. We need these things to be faster going into the corner, utilizing the brakes more, utilizing the tires more, having an opportunity to overdrive the cars more to burn the tires up, and then see guys struggle over a run.
With many drivers speaking up on the ongoing debate, the NASCAR fan community also didn't hold back in expressing their opinions on the horsepower debate. Social media platforms were ablaze with fans dissecting every statement and sharing their insights. Some echoed Larson's plea for higher horsepower on short tracks, while others debated the feasibility and impact on racing dynamics. While drivers and fans clamored for more power, NASCAR remained tight-lipped, citing potential cost implications. The organization highlighted the need for additional components and calibration adjustments, raising concerns about financial burdens. However, fans were quick to challenge NASCAR's reasoning, calling for prioritizing elite performance in the Cup Series. The recent race at Bristol brought a new perspective to the horsepower debate. The enhanced tire wear and track conditions showcased the importance of off-throttle time and dynamic racing challenges. Denny Hamlin's post-race reflections shed light on the intricacies of balancing horsepower and track characteristics. As the horsepower debate rages on, NASCAR faces the challenge of finding the perfect balance between performance, cost efficiency, and racing excitement. With this becoming the hottest topic of discussion in recent days, will it be a drastic 1,000 HP bump, or Denny Hamlin's 750 suggestions? Do share your thoughts in the comments below. And there you have it, folks. The horsepower saga continues to captivate NASCAR enthusiasts worldwide, igniting passionate debates and fueling excitement for the sport's evolution. Hit that like button, share and subscribe for more updates on this thrilling saga as we delve deeper into the heart of NASCAR's dynamic landscape. Until next time, keep the conversation going on Lucky Dog on Track.